Hi everybody, welcome back to the Our Smiling Faces podcast. First of all, it is brought to you by Guillermo Clothing and GEORDIE Gifts. Deka.
Jesus, it's a long time since we've heard that. I've just actually realised.
It has been a while.
God, is it not?
In fact, do another one.
Do another one because I spoke over that. Get in.
So the reason we got another one was because it's two games.
Two games,
back.
Oh,
that's right. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
West
So,
Brom and then
we didn't do a reaction to the West Brom game.
because we're too drunk.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to, weren't we?
We're going to, but then we're scared in case the bus was going to leave because it nearly left Taylor behind.
Aye, yeah.
So we're scared to get on the bus too late.
Yeah.
So
We didn't want any hassle.
yeah, me and you were stuffing our faces with them burgers.
Yeah. I have to comment on the exit plan of that West Brom ground down that like back lane with the fence there, which then
Aye.
means it like bottlenecks.
That was great.
Do you think it was great?
Aye.
Oh,
I
it
was trying to climb over the fence and fight the people that were chucking stones at me.
Was people chucking stones?
Were
Was
you
it?
not there at that point?
Nah.
Really?
No,
Was
it
it?
was like
We were in squatting at that point.
We were
because
squatting,
the like their I don't know what stand their side stand
Yeah.
was like up above. They had like a car park there, and then there was like a group of them hanging around in the corner, like up above, like chucking rocks and stones down and everything.
Really? Fucking hell.
That's a bit
So-
much like.
But I do agree. So you walk down the bank, so everything's fine. You're walking down a big group of yours. Bang! Metal fence.
Yeah.
With a tiny little gap in it. It's like, do you know what you get if you're riding a bike and it stops you going on the path? It's like
Yeah,
that
it
sort of
really
thing,
was
isn't it?
just a footpath, wasn't it? Because
It
then
is, yeah.
there was all the houses and everything down
And
the
then we
bottom.
got a nice burger. It was nice, wasn't it?
It was delicious.
It was
aye.
really nice.
Absolutely
Like
delicious.
onions on and that, you know what I mean?
Did you go to the Vine before the game?
No, we stayed outside
Aye.
of where did we stay?
Oh, what was it called again?
Royal Dalton or somewhere like that.
Is that soap?
What was it? Royal
Dalton's like Poppy, isn't it?
Royal
Sutton, Royal Sutton.
Coldfield. That was it. Sutton Coldfield.
Aye, that's where we stayed.
Oh, right, I'm maybe seeing it now.
Bottle of
Bottle of,
sack.
bottle of sack was where we were drinking. It was kind of a triple, wasn't it?
It was great. Really good. I loved it.
Made
Loved it.
special by the win, of course.
It was.
Aye, it
was.
is always a bit nicer, isn't it? When you're
I've
going
spent the majority of the way down blagging George Golkin's lug off.
there. Well, you weren't the only one. You
Aye.
weren't the only one.
There's a few people like.
I spent the majority of the time getting drunk.
One of the funniest bits, I don't know if you watch his Whitey, you know Whitey, aye? He had his top off, and he was like leaning over Taylor to speak to George,
Yeah.
and there was no sense coming out. Like there was noise.
Was that going there or coming back?
No going there.
Just
It was
words
like,
in any order.
"Right, is here a run, George?"
Was he eating soup at the time as well? Like,
It was just the same coming
eating
back.
soup.
Eating soup, man.
So we've done a bit of an interview with Pot on the Tyne with Taylor and George, and I dropped Markins
Mate,
your soup.
They cut loads of quality content
Did
out
I?
of that, didn't
They
they?
cut loads of in, so we'll drop you in your antics while you eat soup. I'm not sure we didn't
Wait,
mention this on the last
hang on.
podcast, did we?
Was that
No, it was after the
doesn't-
podcast. It was afterwards by the revelation.
That,
It was,
that
wasn't it?
sounds
Aye.
like that's a regular occurrence.
It is.
It is?
It was a one-off.
No, it wasn't.
It was 100%
You said that like it was
one-off.
your routine.
You made it sound as if, of course, I take my top off and I eat soup.
So if everyone, well, you won't know this, right? But unless you read George's article, then it goes on to mention you and your soup antics. So every time Mark has soup, doesn't matter if
It's not every time. It was once last
so
week.
every time Mark has soup, doesn't matter if it's vegetable, tomato, chicken and mushroom.
Big soup.
It was minestrone.
What he does, right, so he doesn't spill any on his top, he'll take his shirt off, then spoon feed himself with his soup. Is that correct?
No, absolutely not.
You rub it into your
So
chest.
with
after.
context, I was wearing a white T-shirt
In the house.
eating minestrone soup,
In the house, yeah.
and I thought this could get a stain if I dropped some of my spoon.
Don't you have a washing machine?
Of your spoon.
Well, yes, but when you get something red on a white
Minestrone's
thing.
not that red. It's not tomato soup. It's minestrone's like.
We'll have to clarify how we knew you'd done that though, because it just sounds really weird at the minute. So
Yeah,
There was
That's a
something
good point, actually,
happened in terms of a question or where I don't know where are you or something.
It wasn't the WhatsApp group, was
Oh,
it?
no.
And you sent a photo, a selfie
It's
if
because
you
I
was
was
no top
absolutely
on.
killing myself laughing at one of the comments that would made.
Yeah, you were laughing, weren't you? That's right. Yeah, and then Adam went,
Literally
Why you got
tears.
your top off?
tears down
That's
my
why you
face.
got your top.
He said he can't. Are you on your holidays?
That was it. Sorry, aye. Didn't you Photoshop like a
photoshopped
battle?
like
You
pool
photoshopped
behind
it
him.
back
That was
down.
absolutely amazing. That was really good. Yeah.
Right, so next time you have soup, are you gonna
That
keep
story
your-
is a lot better without the context.
Do you want a
when you
bib?
read it, isn't it? Well, normally that's what you would do. You'd have
A
like,
bib!
like a napkin or something, wouldn't you? To like
No,
stop you.
even-
I just
How
lean.
old are you?
I generally just lean over the bowl, and if it's
Yeah.
too
Why don't you just, if you're that worried,
Say you
just bring the
don't care.
bowl
It's
to
just
you?
about getting covered in soup everywhere.
No, if you're that scared, bring the bowl like to you.
yeah,
Do you know what I
that's
mean?
it's an alternative, like that.
Like that?
Or put the soup in a cup and drink
Just
it.
gonna drink it.
Yeah,
solve
straw it.
Solve it.
Or just don't have soup?
I was really shocked that that chicken fillet on my knee got in the article as well. That is ridiculous behaviour, that isn't it, really, eh?
But even the exact words that I said to you as well.
Yeah. I try to really be cool about that, and I was like having a mid-conversation, I had this like chicken on my leg there, and I was like, aye, Kris, you're right, aye.
Because the plate had a massive chunk like of this where this chicken was supposed to be.
But when I came back, and obviously I didn't notice, and then I went,
yeah,
hold on, then, and then realised there was
chicken pinching skills.
The chicken was missing.
Fair comment.
Right, so Southampton game. First of all, we're on the quarterfinals.
Yes.
In the quarterfinals, you know.
And it's
We're
been
in the quarterfinals,
announced,
you know.
yes, we'll play Man City on the Saturday night.
At 7 o'clock kickoff.
Carnage.
It's going to be chaos.
Absolute carnage.
I really hope it's going to be like great
It's
atmosphere.
great. Everybody's just going to go out, get drunk, full of beer, go there and go Raji.
Yeah.
Think crap.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Right, so focus on the Southampton
You only
game.
want us to get beat because you're going to be away for the...
I'm away for this one against Man City as
Aye, he's
well.
not going.
Man City are up and down, though. They're there to be beaten.
Yeah.
I agree.
Beaten once this season already.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, obviously, like, all things being equal, would get fucking trounced, but...
They were awful
works.
yesterday, though.
Well, terrible, aye, man. You weren't great.
If we're set up the right way, we're really sorry, we're talking about
5 at the back.
But if we're set up the right way and we'll be hard to beat, the fans are up for us. All right, we've got a chance, you know. That's maybe me just being.
We'll go on the Southampton game because I think there are quite a few questions in regards to the cups.
Aye, fair enough.
Yeah,
I thought
that's
we
it,
just
mate.
jump straight
Cups,
at that
just one cup. Right, so Southampton game. Going into that one, we were confident
Well, there was initial surprise lineup, wasn't there?
for the Southampton game.
With Joe Linton up there.
Joe Linton,
So Joe was dropped. Yeah,
first game he hasn't started, I believe.
he had it. So he was playing at the top of the front three for West Brom game. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes, he
He
was.
was
Aye,
playing
that's
top,
right.
and he had a decent game. And
Did really well, aye.
what I've seen recently is a lot of fans obviously recognise what Joe's doing from the team now that the formation's changed to suit him a little bit better, whether he's up top or on the left.
He's not as isolated, is he?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there was a few times against West Brom where there was one where me and Deka were standing there and the ball gets pinged out to the left. Now, guys, Joe's never getting this. No idea. He runs past the defender, then he just nicks the ball on the byline, doesn't he?
And then he scores as well.
Yeah.
He did fantastically well. I'm sorry to comment on that just for a second. I don't know if this is because maybe he's not isolated as much. I felt that his movement against West Brom was really like top quality. Like he was working the channels a lot more, which is what I want him to do. That's when I've had me debate about him before, and people have tried to say I've been negative about him. Is the reason sometimes I have been is because sometimes I feel he does stand with his back to goal like a bottle of milk. Yeah. But that game against West Brom, I felt that he was working the channels really well. And likewise, you've just touched on it there. He done really well. That byline to cut inside.
What helped massively is that Miggy's just got a free road running wherever the hell he wants.
He looks. I thought he was a good player anyway, but he looks just
He looks
fantastic.
he looks like he's
So
took a next
dangerous.
step, doesn't he?
Aye.
It's put him back in the position where he was so effective last season. It's what we've been saying all of this season is get him back in the middle to support or get him to that left-hand side of things, not out on the wing, get them in narrow and
So
start doing
the lineup for the Southampton game, obviously Dubravka was in goal, as you'd normally expect. Mankiw was back on the right-hand side, who's looked decent since he came back from injury.
Solid.
He's not very good at crossing the ball.
You know what it is? I would say he's looked good since last season.
Yeah.
back end of the season.
I think he's
You
been.
know, it's a funny one. You're totally right. We've never. I can't recall saying he had a bad one this week.
No,
Ever?
not
To
for a
be
long
honest,
time.
like literally
It's,
for a long
it's
time.
weird because last season he was terrible up until that last what, half a dozen games.
It was
or
when
something?
Yedlin had surgery, so he was
Yeah,
injured.
he
No one
just
knew about him.
dropped out
Yedlin had surgery and he was out for X amount of weeks before the end of the season. Mankiw came in and he had an absolutely fantastic run in
Great,
that
yeah, he
team.
was really solid.
Alongside him, two centre backs, Lascelles Fernandez, Danny Rose on the left hand side once again. Centre midfield was Shelvey and Hayden. They were back in the team. Was that Shelvey's first game back?
No, he played against West. Well, he came on against West Brom.
He played.
West Brom. Sorry,
Do
I've
you
got
not play
West Brom in my
against
head there.
Against Burnley.
Burnley? I
Burnley
played against
played
Burnley.
as well,
All right, okay. Obviously on the left hand side, you've got this has got 4-4-2.
It was
a little bit
4-2-3.
different.
Yeah.
So you had your front three as Saint, Almiron, and Gale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Richie
Richie.
played right.
Richie played.
Yeah,
right.
Richie's on the right.
And
Front
then
three.
Gale was up
Gale
front.
was
No,
up.
you had 4-2-3-1.
4-2-3-1.
Two
So, all right,
midfield
right,
and
yeah.
two. Then
So
you had
front
three,
three. Yeah,
which
yeah,
was Saint, Almiron, Richie, and then up front you had Gale.
So what I want to dive straight into this one. I know he's a huge talking point though, but Shelvey and Richie signed a new contract this week. Takes them to 2023.
3-year deals were, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
So thoughts on that one?
It makes it look likely that Bruce will be staying, doesn't it? Because I think what I can gather, what I've heard in other that shows is that Bruce has had a big part in this decision. Like, so yeah, it sounds like he's in there for the long haul. Like, so
he's a big fan of Shelby, isn't he? He said that since day one of coming.
And I think we've always, this season in particular, we've got a better team with Shelby in there.
Yeah,
for the most part. I mean, I don't know if Bentley was kind of signed to try and accompany him or to replace him in some way, but Shelby just looks head and shoulders a better player. Yeah. And that, I mean, we'll probably go on later on, like, but some of his passing in the first half on Saturday. That one for Gale, when it kind of curls at last minute. It was Beckham-esque, that.
Yeah. Do you know what it reminds us of? Euro 2000, Shearer scored, Beckham.
It
was the same end.
Against Germany.
It was the same. Literally, the finish wasn't, but...
but
no, I agree with you totally. I mean, you know what it is? I've seen a lot of people say that it's maybe a sign that we're not moving forward, we're not going to progress by having them players. What I find also a bit funny is the hassle Richie's been getting recently. From what I'm seeing, I'm only looking at a few accounts on Twitter, but people are kicking right off, and I'm sure not long ago people were saying we need him back in, we need his feistiness, we need him kicking corner flags.
Yeah.
I'm sure I read this, that people want him back in the team.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
It's a strange one that I think the attitude towards him has been very poor. And I mentioned it in the car actually to Gareth on the way. A funny one for me is, look at Liverpool, right, and you look at Milner, Henderson, I'll just throw them two names on there. I reckon if you go back 3 or 4 years ago, Liverpool fans are going, for us to win the league, we need to get rid of Milner and Henderson.
Oh,
right?
definitely.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Now, I'm hearing people saying, for us to progress, we need to get rid of Shelby and Richie. I'm not all for that. Like, I think if you get the right team, right players around them type of players.
The thing that I've seen a lot is what you mentioned there. People saying that it seems like we're not progressing. Obviously, keeping those players, the older players there. But then you flip that around. You had plenty of people this season saying why we're not signing Rondon, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And now this age thing doesn't matter. Like, so people kicking off saying Richie and Shelby are too old, but then they're kicking off in the same breath that we didn't sign.
People picking
they also want Fernandes has to be signed up. He's pushing and I agree completely. Sometimes you use that argument for your case. If you know what I mean.
The thing is, with signing a 3-year deal, it doesn't necessarily mean they've got to be in the first team for those 3 years.
No,
totally.
That's what people forget. It's not an 11-man game.
Yes.
Yeah.
You need a squad. You need 25 people
with
in that squad.
I like Matt Ritchie with all the goodwill, respect in the world to him. If he's still in the first team in 3 years' time, I'll be concerned.
Yes, I agree completely. Totally right.
Shelby less so because he's a little bit younger. But like, I mean, if we're in a championship, maybe. But like, Matt Ritchie, I'm sure isn't thinking, that's 38 times stress, another 120, 140 odd games now between. Like, I'm guaranteed. You know what I mean? He's probably thinking, might get another season there too. And I mean, Newcastle being Newcastle, it might not happen, probably won't happen. But you'd like to think that they'd kind of use them as a basis and then build on top. Because Ritchie and Shelby are both. You went to Deka, they're massively important. Richie, he's fucking mad. And I think I said on here last week, when he gets going, the way he lifts the rest of his players is worth more than he is as a player himself. I think I like Richie. I think he's got a good left foot. He's a bit limited. He's not very quick for a winger, wing back, whatever. But what he gets other players doing, like Lascelles, is greater than just him in a team sheet.
Yeah,
it's like you go back to, like, Bobby Robson always used to talk about his blue chip players and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You had it under, like, Houghton when we went in the championship and stuff like that. You had that nucleus of experienced players that really, dragged the dressing room along and stuff like that. And you do need characters like that. You cannot just chuck a load of people into the team and expect them just to get on with it. You need leaders, you need characters, you need a bit of heart and a bit of something in there.
You make the point with Houghton there, that game, the friendly, was it Leighton Orient or Lincoln when it got beat 6-1? And they said it was like Harper, Barton, Smith, Nolan, Nicky Butt could hold the dressing room. And for me, Matt Ritchie's one of those players.
He's that kind of player. In the dressing room and said, if you're not up for this fight, piss off, basically.
I think one of you touched on it there, that, like, for me as well, do you know, like, when the chips are down and you look at, like, now we're turning to the bench and we've got Atsu, for example. I'm just using him as an example here. I think as time goes on, Richie will be so Atsu will move on, then Richie will be the one on the bench.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Then you'll have your starting right winger or left back or whatever that might be. But you're trying to upgrade your squad, aren't you? And people forget that it's more than 11 players.
What did Lambias class them as? Were those the purple players?
Purple chip, I think they were, yeah.
The purple players where it was, he had like colour schemes for 3 tiers of players. I'm sure it was purple players out of those in-between players.
I think it might well have been, I can't remember exactly, but I think blue might have been
with the top.
There's been some real bad things about Richie on there. I put some.
It's been ridiculous.
And someone said that he shouldn't even have a number. He shouldn't be in what's 25-man squad. Someone literally replied and said.
To be honest, I think we've got quite a few about Richie, but we'll go on that in question and answer. So the game itself, First bit of actions in the 8th minute, it's that triple save.
That's fucking unbelievable.
So
that.
Gale's shot is basically just into the keeper's dick. So
Point blank save.
So
isn't it?
yeah, straight into his dick. It rolls out. Then
Second save from
second save is
Almiron.
That's a decent save. So the one
that second one,
second one.
when you say a double save like that, and like someone, I was thinking before I kind of seen it, probably thinking Almiron should score from there.
Yeah.
But there's not much more he
Keep
could have
straight
done.
back
It's
up.
a fantastic save. Like,
Even
he gets high on it, he gets away from the
he's on
keeper,
the
and he's
ground.
just.
even the
And he
third, he
just-
tries to dink it over him again.
Yeah, he just gets his fingertips to it. No, honestly, that Almiron's first one, he gets a bit of height, he gets power on it.
Yeah.
The keeper's obviously just thought, right, I'm going to... Almiron could have put it the outside, the keeper's got no chance because he's committed early, but he's guessed right, like a penalty basically.
Yeah.
And he's got a really good hand on it. It's a great save, that. Like.
I thought the move leading up to it, someone played a beautiful ball to Shelby, who was right wing somehow.
Richie.
Was it Richie? Was it? It was a great pass. Shelby's in. He
Shelby did very well to keep
does
it
the
in.
player, keeps it in, does a player, gets the ball in the middle, and again, and I think it's going to be a familiar theme here. I have to credit Gale for being in the right area.
Yeah.
Gale was in there. He has a snapshot. I personally thought Almiron on the first attempt of his two should have scored. In my opinion, I think in them areas you don't give the keeper an opportunity. I will also say the keeper did fantastically well as well.
Yeah.
But I think we had more shots in that 2 seconds than we have in any other Premier League game I can remember, if I'm being honest. 3 on target in a second. But yeah, no, you know, it was a bright start. I thought we took the game to them personally. Like I was really pleased. Like I thought we were all right.
But that just from that moment, that keeper just then set the bar for his game from that moment onwards.
Yeah.
Didn't he?
So the next talking point was
Red card.
the yellow card, obviously VAR taking over. Thoughts on that, real time?
Well, I messaged straight away saying that's a red card.
Would you say real time or with the replay involved?
Seen it straight away.
Okay.
But especially
I
when
didn't
you
see it until afterwards. I wasn't watching the game live, but second half I was, but not the first half. So, I mean, it's definitely a red card. I don't think there's any argument there. Like, but with regard to
Well, unless you're Ralph Hussenhall.
he's fucking golf gloves
Oh,
on.
what's he saying now, like?
Well, he was getting off crazy about it, kicking off on the touchline
Yeah.
about
I
it
saw
all.
him on the touchline, but has he
complaining
said anything afterwards?
Yeah, complaining about VAR.
It just, you know what he was really. I'm sorry, I'm going to fast forward for 1 second. What he was really annoyed about was that he went to the monitor to look at the red card, but didn't go and look at the monitor for the handball, almost saying that that's not fair. Type of thing.
inconsistent.
Absolute bullshit, man. Hayden is incredibly lucky that his leg was bent.
Yeah.
His leg was slightly bent, which helped him. If his was planted, he was a dead man.
He's
there,
that
like. He was a dead man.
100%.
I've seen the argument made, and I've not seen this. That Manquillo could have gone as well for one in the chest.
Nah, that was
I've
the pair of them slid in together for that one. Didn't
I seen it. I thought Manquillo almost tried.
He tries to pull out of
to
it.
get out of it.
Yeah.
He
personally,
tries.
yeah.
I've not seen it, so I kind of.
If you're saying Manquillo needs sent off for that one, where he tries to pull out, then later on in the game, I think it's Shane Long goes in and he slips. He clearly slips.
Oh, and Dubravka.
He tackles Dubravka.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So it's a similar sort of thing. They both try and pull out with a tackle, but they
There
go
was
that fast across the
another
deck.
one right at the end on Saint as well.
Oh yes.
Like
You're
literally
right,
was
Oh,
like
he's
the
still on
last
him. That was a
30
Valerie, wasn't it?
seconds or
Aye,
something, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
To go back to that incident, I
the
thought,
yellow card, yeah,
I
the yellow
thought
red card.
VAR was used
Fantastic.
perfectly.
Yeah.
Exactly why it's been brought in the game. The referee calls it as at that time he thinks it's a yellow,
Yeah.
has the opportunity to re-say it and upgrades the card.
He's seen it for, like looking at it. He's looking at it the wrong side. In essence, he's like
in fairness to the ref, we all know there's no intent there. The lad's not trying to hurt anyone. He's overhit the ball. He's trying to, you know what I mean. It's one of them. He's not trying to hurt anyone, but he did.
But you even
Hang on,
like as soon as they told him to go and have a look, and he went over, and the referee looked at it once, and he was really quick. Away to,
he was really
to
quick,
give a red card, but then he stopped and then.
Because normally you'll see that we'll rewind it, bring it forward, rewind it. You have one look at it.
It was clear as day, wasn't it? Absolutely clear as day.
Correct decision given, and a good use of the technology for once.
But their manager was kicking off on the touchline about it, going ballistic and that, and you could see their player was like when he actually then did drudge off the pitch, he was visually upset like by it. He was
He's lost his mum recently.
Lost his stepmom, his foster, was it his foster mum? His foster mum, he's lost the last week. I think he scored the game after. Then obviously he's been sent off this one.
Full of
So
emotions.
He didn't mean
in a
it.
short space of time like that.
The one thing I said, there was no malice. He didn't mean it.
No,
it was
no.
just a
It was
late
an accident.
Just an accident.
It could have been
leg break.
nasty.
Well, it's the same as Hayden at Leicester for me. I don't think he's gone in to hurt anyone, but he's gone in. I mean, it's probably a bit worse than Hayden at Leicester before.
Yeah.
I get bitten off like.
it's because they're stamped down. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah, I actually thought Hayden. Sorry, but I thought Hayden actually had more. What's the word? Power or momentum. You know, there was more viciousness in Hayden's. I thought, as much as I didn't think Hayden's was a red card, I just felt that his was I mean, his was a leg breaker, right? Like,
Oh,
it
I
just
know two
wasn't-
ways about it. Yeah, definitely.
It's strange because watching that in real time, I might be wrong here, but I didn't see any Newcastle player react
No,
and
do you-
start booting off.
Do you know the only thing that they reacted for, and it was the same I reacted for, is the ref didn't play on.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
we're
aye.
away.
Yeah.
And Fernandez goes to the ref, come on, he actually goes, we're away there.
So the ref obviously gets a call and he's there, doesn't he,
Yeah.
saying stop it.
Straight away,
Yes,
aye.
potential red card.
Yeah.
Kind of thing,
So he stops it straight away. Straight after that send off is Gale's chance. So the one with
From one of the
Shelby.
best passes you're
that the header?
going to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's all over social media if you haven't seen it yet. But Shelby's on the right hand side. He just bends it, doesn't he, behind the
It's a
defenders.
wonderful ball. Like, it's
Can
a
I-
really, really
Hits him with
good
it like
ball.
outside of his boot,
Yeah.
doesn't he? And just
Have
bends
you
it round.
seen the full play of that by any chance? I just think it's something about Gale here I need to mention is that Gale, if you watch it again, right, Gale makes a run on the outside, so he's almost going to go down the wing and he wants it, and Manquillo, I think it is, doesn't give him it. And then he instantly trots back and then gets in
Goes again.
between the two defenders. Then Shelby gets it and puts it in. The movement from Gale is unbelievable.
He's a really clever player, Gale. Like, he's
He really
excellent.
is, honestly. And I watched the highlights, as sad as I am, 5-6 times, right? And I appreciate here we're going to probably criticise the finishing, but some of his movement was unbelievable through that game. You know?
He always has
Really
had
was.
good movement, and
Yeah.
he's busy and stuff like that. It's all the one thing that he always gets picked up on is his finishing.
I seen a stat, and I could be wrong here, but someone tweeted it today and I found it interesting. There's something like 60 games in the Premier League and he scored something like 26 goals, or 58 Premier League games and scored 26 goals. It's not actually bad.
That's very decent, that.
It's
like,
not
It must
actually
be over
bad.
quite a length of time. That
Well,
though.
we were
Well,
Palace as well.
Palace
wouldn't
as
it be?
well, obviously. He hasn't played much in the Premier League for us. Well, he hasn't, probably a couple of seasons, but his
yeah.
ratio is not as bad as you would imagine.
I wonder if it might be down to sharpness, you know, like some of the chances he had on Saturday.
agree, yeah.
He had the one, I remember Burnley away when he kind of
Totally
put one
right.
just past the post.
Manu.
Man U
yes,
was a good chance,
that was
yeah.
terrible,
Yeah.
that, aye.
And do you know what's weird? I know we're all about misses, like, but Christ, he's in the area.
Alright.
He's in the area, and
Well, I remember about 6 weeks ago, I managed to I come across a stat where Joe Linton had 6 shots on target, up to whatever point this was in the season. Shot was this year, like 2020. Gill's, we just mentioned 6-7 there
Yeah.
Right,
immediately.
no, you're right, yeah.
And I'm not using this to bash Joe Linton because
Yes.
I don't mind him. Although he doesn't score enough goals and stuff. But he's only
just be positive
he's only a
there,
number 9. But Gill is getting into those positions, and it's that thing where if Gill has 200 shots and scores 20,
Yeah.
Joe Linton has 5 shots and doesn't score any, like, which is better, you know.
I think
Great comment,
the problem we have comparing the likes of shots on targets for Joe is the formation that he was playing. at the
Aye,
very
that's
start
right,
of the
that's
season,
right, mate.
Where literally he was in that half by himself a lot of the time.
Plus,
I can't
plus
deny
Dwight Gale is a goal poacher.
Yeah.
That's what he's
Yeah,
doing
he's up-
for.
He could be in the
28
6-yard box 9 out of 10
isn't it?
times, isn't he?
Yeah. You look what Joe Linton did at West Brom. I mean, that back heel for Almiron second
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Like, there's something there, like, definitely.
So while we're talking about Dwight Gale, the next chance comes to Dwight Gale again. I think it's Manquillo on the left hand side, possibly.
Saint.
Is it Saint that puts
Same,
it in?
just does everyone.
He does. So he takes
Well,
about
that's
3
where
players.
he
doesn't he?
just puts it wide of the post, isn't it?
Yeah.
Snapshot.
Should go with his left.
It was very much
Nowhere
like
near the goal, let's be
um,
honest. That shot's nowhere near the goal.
It was very much like the Joe Linton one where he did.
Aye.
It was a pretty
Yeah.
similar move. Got down there and just stabbed it by the post.
He should have went with
But
his
Joe's
left
was a
foot,
bit
I
more
think.
behind him.
It was.
Yeah, it was, aye.
Arsenal away. Yeah, I remember it, yeah. I thought he should have went with his left, personally, but again, to try and be positive, he's in the right area. He's in the
So
area.
that first half, obviously, would just dominate, completely dominate.
we haven't
Not long
mentioned another
after
thing
that
yet.
were,
Oh, sorry, probably. Should
is
probably.
Lascelles' goal.
Disallowed
So
goal.
Lascelles
Yes.
gets a goal.
Yeah,
That's offside. Lascelles thinks he scored. He's running, going like that.
Oh,
going
At least
check
he
me
checked
or
for
like
you,
that.
alright,
He's a mile off.
He's
The thing
he's
is,
miles
though,
off.
in all the fuss about the red card, the penalty Newcastle got, I didn't know that. Did I watch match of the day? I didn't know that happened.
All right.
And I've been watching, like I said, didn't watch the first half of the game, but I've watched the second half and I've pulled on highlights and I've been looking on Twitter and stuff like that. I had no idea what a goal disallowed. And like,
It was a good goal as well. Like,
He took it really well,
good
aye.
move. And
aye.
It's what I think Fernandez and Lascelles can offer more, to
Yeah.
be honest. The
Yeah,
big
that's
lads, you know what I
fair,
mean? And Clark's normally the one up there, to be fair.
Well, even for the jumping ahead, even for the penalty,
Yeah.
it was a good corner for that to Fernandez at the back.
So to be
post as
fair,
well.
I think from that, I think that's the next bit of action from
Yeah.
Lascelles offside is the penalty. What are your thoughts on that? So the referee clearly isn't going to give it at all because it's bang in front of him. He's not going to give it. When it went to VAR, I thought VAR would have ruled it out because of Saint's pull.
Well,
The reason why it
Yeah.
took so long
I
is
didn't-
because they were trying to see if the pull came before.
I
the
didn't think it was a
handball.
pull because if you watch,
It's 100%
the
right.
player who handles it actually stands on Saint's foot, which then causes him to lose balance. And I think he's more like grabbing to keep his balance. So I thought they actually were looking at the penalty for a foul on Saint.
So
rather
it came
than the
across
handball.
because it did take a while, but it came across afterwards. what they were trying to do is figure out if that pull came
was a
before
foul.
or after his arm moved to hit the ball. And it's a split second. It's not much
is it,
between
no?
it, and that's why I thought we weren't going to get it.
Fair comment.
But it
Obviously
was a proper, deliberate.
Yeah. So
move
before
towards the
VAR
ball.
comes into it though, they break, and it's Fernandez that brings one of their players down. The referee books him straight away.
Yeah.
And I think I put it in the group saying, does that yellow card get taken away now? So I don't think
They came out.
They didn't even announce it until half time.
Yeah,
I think
came out
after half time
and said it had been rescinded.
But yeah, VAR comes in once again. Southampton fans managed to boot it right off. Like I think we would do the same. If it
The
was that
Southampton fans were moaning from the sending off. Like they were booing and all of that kind of thing.
we would
like
be
that,
the
but-
same.
We're the same.
But it was on the screen.
No, I'm getting you.
How can they not look at that and say,
I'm getting you, but-
actually, he's stamped on his leg?
It just is what it is. It is what it is, and you know we're guilty of that sometimes. I think.
Of course, well, yeah.
the system might
definitely.
go, and we'll just kick off.
Yeah.
And every fan's going to do it. On the thought of the handball, I only go back to. Did any of you see the Bournemouth and Burnley game, where I think Burnley won 3-0, but there was 2 handballs by Bournemouth, and they were the same, like
Sort of
kind of
thing.
here. And as soon as I seen that incident, I thought, well, that's a penalty then, because if you're going off that game, that was my mindset anyway. And obviously Richie taking it. What was your thoughts on Richie being the man to take it?
Richie would always be
He's
my
the penalty
first player to
taker,
take
right?
it.
He's the-
Because
Always.
everyone at, work, at the time work would go, I wouldn't have him take it. I said, well, who would you have taken it then? Because I wouldn't fancy Gale. Shelby says he won't take one. Almiron, really?
Well, the last two we saw from Shelby and Hayden were two of the worst penalties I've ever seen.
Yeah,
right?
Hayden's not
That
going
was
to take one.
in
There's
the
another
Leicester
one.
Cup game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You haven't really got many left. really.
Rich is your designated penalty taker.
He is, but you made the point on the immediate post-game reaction thing. He always goes the same way. He always hits it hard to his right, like hits across the ball.
Across the ball,
And I forget, there was another, that was Pickford, it was against Everton, he saved one.
That's the last one.
He's missed his last 2 penalties.
And like,
I mean, he scored the winner against Man City. Well, sorry, the equaliser or the winner, whatever it was. But again, it was to that. It was actually a worse penalty. To be fair, the one he saw against Man City was worse.
I cannot fault that penalty.
I thought it was a good save.
because he,
I know the penalties.
putting it directly into the hard low, and it's going into the side netting of that goal.
It's
you
a
know
good
what's
save.
funny?
It's a
It's a
very
good
good
save.
save.
It's a good penalty in isolation. But if you take 100 penalties and they all do that, then the keeper's going to go like, that's what I'm going to
I think if the keeper does go the other way, we all go, solid penalty.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
It's one of them.
Yeah.
And when he missed it, I must admit, I did go, Richie, man. But then when I seen it back again, I was like, do you know what it is? You've hit the cleaners out.
Yeah, it's a good penalty.
So you just used the word missed there, and I did as well, but I don't class
Yes,
it as
that's a
a
fair
Yeah,
Yeah,
it should be. I agree.
That's a fair comment.
It's a save in my
The
eyes.
thing is, what Besty's saying is 100% right, though, isn't it? If he's always going to go the same way, keepers are going to click on. Keepers research this.
Well, look
we
at
saw
Tim
Tim Crow.
Crow.
Yeah.
Against Tottenham last week.
So even if Richie runs up and lets the keeper make his move first, the keeper's going to dive that way every single time, isn't he? If it's
The
Richie
problem
takes
is
it.
that's the only penalty we've had this season.
I'd be shocked.
The other one before that was, God knows.
I'd be stunned if that keeper's watched Richie's pens.
I wouldn't be like.
You wouldn't be.
Nah.
I think every single goalkeeper
He's only had
would
2
know.
and 2, yeah?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
What I'm saying.
You've got to go
I'd be
back
shocked if
that-
he's looking
No,
at
no,
penalty.
So I think if a good keeper worth his salt, it doesn't take. It takes
He
5
would've
minutes.
looked,
It's probably provided to
Which way does
him.
he go?
He's not go down the archives and search for it. Like it'll be someone saying, right,
That'll be one of the coaches.
The coaches.
Rod, if anyone takes a penalty, if Gale gets one, he'll go this
It'll
way.
play the
in-
top
in
2
past.
players, you would think.
Yeah.
The normal 2 players, penalty takers, will go, he goes to the left, he goes to the right, 9 out of 10 times, blah, 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 blah.
Aye.
It's the type of research they do, isn't it, when in the dossier that they have on
Yeah.
the teams they're coming up against. But
Definitely. Like I say, the
one of them
Tim
things
Crow
that-
and the water bottle. What was it? Jens Lehmann had it down his sock in the World Cup that time. It's something
That
keepers
water
do.
bottle was funny.
Yeah.
It's belting that. I think it's a great idea. That like
But I mean, Timmy's always been good at penalties, hasn't he?
Crow.
Cool,
I don't know how it is. I mean,
You had
he
him
didn't
in
play
one of
for
the,
us.
was it the Euros where he
World
was
Cup.
going flying out?
They actually brought him on for the penalty shootout.
but I still think that was mind games because Crow.
That's what it is.
In my head, Crow was never a great penalty
Van Gaal, like,
saver.
aye. Was
Van
Van
Gaal's
Gaal?
going.
Wasn't it?
Louis Van Gaal goes like if you bring the goalkeeper on with 2 minutes of extra time left to go.
Yeah.
In Costa Rica, are going to be going like.
The players are going,
he's
Jesus
obviously-
Christ, he's going to be mint.
If you watch, I know we're talking about Tim Krul, yeah. If you go watch them both penalties, right? The one in the World Cup or the Euros, whatever it was. That must be World Cup, it was Costa Rica. He's not saving them that well, really. But Tim Krul goes from being the nicest guy
mind
ever
games,
to
isn't it?
being
He
an
is,
absolute
yeah.
bellend.
That Tottenham.
He's in the face. He's wasting time,
Big Casper Michael.
and that's how he saves them. But
Yeah.
Right, only other thing which happened before that half was a yellow card to Mankio.
So that first half couldn't fault other than finishing.
Yeah.
You couldn't fault it.
No.
It's probably going to be fair, we've said this since the change of formation. We do look a lot more attacker minded.
Well, 3 games.
We'll look like we're actually trying to score now, and we're taking the game to
teams.
To the teams, yeah.
Totally agree.
So I think the formation, it's been needed a lot earlier than what actually came into play.
How often have we sat here talking about it though? We've done it all season about getting the 2 wide players narrower and closer to Joe.
It's not just that, like how many times we've sat here about the midfield. If there's 2 in midfield, it's not working. And the amount of teams that walk through it.
Yeah.
In this change of formation, it's held it together a little bit more in midfield there.
Yeah, because Almiron can drop back and become a 3 quite quickly.
And obviously going forward, we've got the pace to take any defenders on, really, when you think about
100% agree. The couple of things that I have to say is that to try and defend Bruce in a certain way, you can understand why he's kept it like it has been for so long.
Especially
because,
the batterings that we had off Norwich and Leicester.
And he's got to be thinking, Christ,
if 2 games.
But we've got horses handed.
Yeah. And I've sat here, Arsenal away, which went to 4 at the back, and we looked a shambles. And I sat here and criticised that.
Quite recently as well.
It was very recent. And I think you have to understand that. The other thing I'm going to say is we've talked very nicely about the last 3 games in terms of the chances we've created.
Yeah.
What we'll have to make sure here is we remember that when it does go wrong.
Yeah.
We might play it against City and get beat 5-0 in the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Hey, we're playing 4 at the back, it's shit, we kind of played. We need to remember it takes time, and we're seeing the benefits of changing formation. We need to believe in that and carry on with that. Even when there's a bad result, will come.
We'll have, of course it will. A bad performance will come.
But then people, I can't play 4 at the back, that's why.
United on Saturday.
It wouldn't surprise us, they're a good side.
They're a very good side.
Well, Southampton, all the chances they created, they didn't. It took until the 70 whatever minute, 80 minute to score.
Dubravka's never been this quiet over 3 games that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I have to be honest here.
I don't even think he touched the ball in the first half.
So I think obviously going into half time there, the worrying thing for me was we've seen it so many times in Newcastle. You get chance after chance, player sent off, penalty, you can't score, and you're thinking, Jesus Christ, they're going to go and nick it 1-0 here.
Yeah.
Well, the whole of Twitter, I thought that.
It looked that way as well, the way Shane Long was playing, like he was fucking excellent. I thought, like he was when he got subbed at the end, he was hanging out his arse. He wasn't.
They were a different side second half. Like.
In fairness to a defence, you got Ings, who's the most informed striker in the league, possibly. Never seen him touch the ball.
No. Shane Long was the.
So going in the second half died down completely from Newcastle point of view. Southampton had a chance, regroup, half time, and we struggled that time to break them down. They just sat back in packs of 4, didn't they?
Which you expect from a 10-man team?
Yeah.
I seen people kicking off. Sorry, Besty. I seen people kicking off and like you're playing against 2 banks of 4. Do you know what I mean? They're defending like mad. And in fairness, it was very much like I see some of the real top teams play, patient in possession, playing along the back, waiting for your openings, trying to be patient. I loved how we didn't just keep, because sometimes we just knock it long. We're getting a bit worried, just get it forward. We didn't, we stayed true to what we tried to do, and we tried to pass it. I had no problems with that, to be honest. I'm just wrecking the place.
Yeah,
that's why you put it in your pocket.
You do think that when it's not working for you, you've seen that time and time again, where we just then resort to just hitting hope.
Of course we
hit long balls up to Joe Linden or up to Gale,
Gale,
expect them to jump up. And
like from that second half, I don't want to focus too much on it because nothing really happened until obviously towards.
Shane Long had 3.
So Shane Long gets a chance where it's a fantastic. I think it's straight from the keeper.
His first
touch.
That long
touch. He turns it inside and he brays it up. Dubravka like absolutely smashes it. Dubravka can't really do anything apart from hit it away from him.
It's just the good thing is it's straight at the keeper.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if he hits that to the side, it's a goal. It would have been a hell of a goal. Because that, like you say, that first touch is unreal.
It was fantastic. Killed it, didn't he? Yeah. Absolutely superb.
Just sets himself up beautifully.
I do want to comment a second about the substitutions I thought Bruce made. I personally thought they were great.
So we mentioned this on the post one, which we did there, that the subs were positive. It looked like obviously they're down to 10 men. You expect them to be positive. You kind of go defensive on there. We'll bring who's it? So it's Joe comes on
for Richie. I think.
Perfect sub for Richie.
Joe came off for Richie.
So Joe comes on for Richie. Then you've got Hayden goes off for Longstaff and
Lazaro came on.
So Lazaro saw the West Brom game. He was fantastic against West Brom.
Yeah. And again, I mean, Adam commented and he was probably fair in that sense of like I'm worried that he's right back, but I think because they were down to 10 men, he's not really playing him as a right back. To be fair, you know, Mankiw was getting in some great areas I thought in the second half, but the crossing was poor. So he's probably thinking, right, I'll bring him on, a bit more offensive minded. I thought Longstaff's changed for Hayden. Again, Hayden's so great sitter, right? Well, people rate him as a defensive midfielder. Again, Longstaff was a positive sub. And I thought Richie coming off for Joe was perfect as well.
Shelby's second half performance, it dropped.
He went off the boil.
The commentators even started saying, this is 3rd, 4th, 5th time.
Just
they weren't even long balls or short balls where they were just like a yard short. It's
You
was
say
that
about
just
the
down to frustration?
substitutions being spot on. I thought probably Shelby needed to come off.
Shelby, the first half was unbelievable.
Fantastic.
He was brilliant.
Unbelievable.
Second half was
Fantastic.
losing the ball under no pressure.
Yeah.
No pressure at all. It was quite unbelievable. But
There's a couple of times he was passing to Longstaff, I think it was, and the players were just nicking in just before Longstaff.
just before,
Yeah.
the
And
ball
I was
wasn't
thinking,
hard
oh,
enough.
wait, I was thinking, come on, like it's so easy, like.
And I think that's what got Southampton in the game, is we just, as we do, we just relax too much in the game and start playing like lazy balls, because that's
So
kind of what it is.
there's one thing I want to mention which I thought the game was going at this point was we get it, well, it's not even a chance, the ball comes out and the Sells takes a shot from about 30 yards out and it nearly goes out the ground. It's that bad of a shot, and I'm thinking,
That was a strange
Jesus, this is our day, this.
That's why you think they've run out of ideas.
Yeah,
when they-
getting frustrated, we're just hitting it now and see what happens.
He'd be watching the Vincent Company documentary or something. I don't know what made,
Sure,
him,
you should be watching fucking shit,
what made him think I'm 35 yards out here. A good idea.
Aye,
but
hit it.
He kind of passed 5 yards, bless him.
It was a good strike.
It's like a Richie against Burnley.
Yeah,
where he just does the same
It was
thing.
a strange one. It was a strange one.
But the goal itself, Deka, I'll let you take this one since you're your biggest fan.
He is the best, right? He's the best player in the world. In the world.
I said before we started recording, he's probably the most, like we've said it before, probably
He
the
is.
most entertaining player in.
Listen to
the
a few
Premier
different podcasts and the different people on them saying St. Maximin's fucking box office. Like,
He's
He
the
is.
best.
he's just great to
He
watch.
is.
I'm honestly, all I'm going to say is, he is the most exciting player we've ever had.
Really?
Ever. I was thinking about it and I was thinking in my head.
Ben off on
and
his day. Like,
Saint will beat him. Saint will beat him. Saint is the most exciting footballer I think I've ever
I didn't
seen.
like him particularly, but Ginola,
On his day, Ginola was different.
Ginola was astonishing. His
about
first 6
Bielsa?
months or so.
Bielsa was
Bielsa
amazing.
was-
I'm talking about excitement.
Bearsy wasn't exciting,
Is
like,
it? Wait.
like
When he got the ball, he could drive,
Yeah,
like.
but he was.
I don't know. The
He was
club's
magic.
lawyers
He
have
was
probably
magic.
had
Something I want to touch on
interesting
here,
moments. Like,
and I'm going to use your Ginola analogy here. The goal, if we talk about the goal for a second, right? Their player takes a heavy touch, right? He takes a heavy touch.
Can we talk about something before that, though?
Okay, then go on.
Joe Linton held off 5 players from the throw-in.
I'm glad
Five?
because
Five
I was
Five
going to.
players.
Was he doing a conga?
5 players. 5 players.
How do you hold 5 players off from a throw-in?
I actually thought Joe played.
Because there was
the minute he
5.
come on.
He had 3 in his back and 1 on either side of him. 5
They're
players.
trying to like make it
Got a
tower.
throw-in, I'm telling you.
So my question is then, he has me a question for you then, right? So go back a few weeks when we argued a lot, right? And you said he's not in front man, he can't hold the ball up. But you said he's held off 5 players in the stand and that and all the rest of it. So do you think that maybe
5 players, 12 fans,
but
I'm the manager.
do you think that he's developed his game in terms of his hold-up play over the last month or so or whatever? Do you think he's getting better?
No,
at
I think
that?
he's always had that. He's just never had anybody near him to be able to then give the ball
Yeah,
to.
it could be that he's got an outlet now so he can hold
Because
it.
he
Well,
did it, he
I-
held it
I-
off and he gave it straight to short long stuff.
I'm being
Yeah.
honest, I think when I've watched him, I think his hold-up plays a lot better. I think he puts his body in the better
Yeah,
areas.
I
Personally,
think
I think he's developed a lot. He also definitely looks better out wide. Either wing, actually, to be fair.
Aye.
Either wing, right or left, doesn't really matter. But I'll come back to what I said before. If you're telling me you're going to play Joe left or Saint left, well,
No.
pass your money, like, because
But
there's only one player I'm playing left, like. Sorry, but
It's
I am.
it's
You notice he
it's,
put the
it's
swap.
horses for courses, isn't it?
He
It's-
swapped. He put Saint over there to allow Joe to be in his
Yeah.
favourite area. It wasn't working, so he moved Saint back over, and within minutes he scored. But the goal, the lad takes a heavy touch, and to go back to the Ginola story, no way on this earth, and I love Ginola, would Ginola have pressed that guy in that area, that field?
No.
Because if you
That
look at the
lad-
freeze frame, like what
No,
you were
that's fair,
talking
that's
about, if
fair.
you look at the freeze
And I love
frame,
Ginola. I feel like I'm bashing Ginola.
when right back Valerie's about to chest it, so he's about to chest it, Saint's in the centre circle.
Oh, he's nowhere near him, right?
Nowhere near it, and Saint judges that.
just
He
times it,
doesn't know
right.
I'm coming.
Amazing.
Mind you, it's a shite ball over by Longstaff, right? It's a ball.
It's awful.
It is, you're right, yeah, terrible, but
Absolutely
you're right.
terrible.
But what me and Mark have spoke about for weeks, and we're agreeing on something, is is press.
Yeah.
Press
Yeah,
them into a
yeah.
mistake. And that lad took the touch, and you can see him almost, where is he? You're almost panicking, where is he?
Yeah.
And
Right.
within seconds, he's on him. And that's
It was
what
like-
you
he
want to
just
see.
he comes from.
Almiron would do that as well.
nowhere.
Almiron would do
It was like a scene from the Fast and the Furious. He just hit that NOS button, man. He just gone.
Go on. He's honestly. I
It's
just
like when the
love guy.
Velociraptors come out in Jurassic Park.
And you think-
Fantastic.
When he wins the ball, gets in front of his man, he's still got a lot to do.
does,
He's
yeah.
got
Oh,
him
he
pull
has,
out.
he has.
He megged the other player
Outside
that
of
was
his foot.
coming
Outside
in.
of his foot, mate. Honestly, it was an amazing goal
a great goal.
by
It
the
is.
best player that's ever existed. Ever. He's the best, man. He is. I'm sorry.
Let's get carried away.
When he's on his game, he's fantastic.
Look, man,
Yeah.
I've said it since the day one of this podcast.
did
He's
say
the
that.
greatest player in the world.
He is fantastic. I'm just like, He's great, like on and off the field. Like let's be honest.
We've criticised the club.
Like you said, he's
Craig Hope hates him.
We've criticised the club about players we've signed in the past. We've criticised a lot of it. The club to sign him for 18 million or whatever it was is just a stroke of genius. It's a stroke of genius.
He's if they sell him today, he's worth more than he gets.
Mike Ashley sat there just going.
He's worth more than the club. Honestly, I love the guy.
There's no way he's going to be here in 2 years.
I'll not go back if he leaves. That's it.
Not a chance.
Get a 3-year contract, he'll be alright.
I'm not
Not
going
a
back.
chance in hell.
You'll not see me again if he leaves.
You'll stay next season, then we'll
If
sell
same
him.
goes where you go.
I won't be here.
I can get on board with that.
You'll not see me again. Best player I've ever had in my life.
Right. Anyone else got anything to mention in this one?
Fantastic week overall.
Yeah.
Through to the quarter-finals. Huge 3 points on the road to safety. Fantastic week.
Brilliant week. You can't really complain with any of it. I mean, the second half against West Brom was a bit dicey when they got back into it.
Totally,
but if you give yourself a 3-goal start every game, then you're doing something right, aren't you? So
Yeah. There's two things which I want to mention, obviously completely off topic in regards to the game. One is our Instagram page and Facebook pages.
Totally off topic, isn't it?
I know, so I just want to mention these before we go. Robin's took over those. So Robin we mentioned an Instagram page a couple of times on this one. Always used to forget its name, but it was NUFC _UK.
Something like that.
Is that right? Something like that.
Can't spell my name.
But his account got took down, so we've brought him on board. He's running Facebook, Instagram. That's doing really well.
doing a cracking job with it.
There's around about 4 or 5 posts a day, so he's putting a lot of effort in there.
Got no better to do.
And the other thing is the recent podcast which we've had with Emil and Andy.
Really good.
Quality is through the roof because we found a studio.
Really?
Well, we haven't. But someone knows someone that works in the studio.
That could be.
So there's a studio, so the audio on that is absolutely fantastic.
It's almost professional.
It's
was
a taster.
amazing.
It was amazing.
It was, it was.
So it is a taster for Patreon.
Good that his heart's in it, isn't it?
So if you like that podcast, obviously sign up to Patreon because you're going to be getting a lot more stuff like that, whether it be by any of us, for Andy or Emil.
You can remember his name there,
I know,
can't you?
his studio. So we've also got someone else coming on board, so you'll probably see that in the next 3-4 weeks.
He gets his finger out.
Yeah, so keep your eyes open for that one. And that's me done.
We've got our Lumberjack podcast coming out shortly.
Yeah.
The 90s WWF tag team here in force here.
So Mark and Besty are going to take the shirts off. They're not having soup, but we're going to have a picnic later on. See you later.